You live in a house haunted with ghosts of people who died because of you.
Peaky Blinders, the immortal man that hit the UK cinemas last week, and we can see it on Netflix on March 20th. It's 15 years since we could enter the world of Peaky Blinders and 6 very successful seasons. How the idea of the movie came to be, and how did the creative process look like?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of ending it in the Second World War was always there. I was shown a clip of an interview I did after the first series when it was just a little show on BBC Two, and I was confidently saying that it would be a film and it would be set in the Second World War. And it's miraculously it's come about. But the idea was always to tell the story of a man and a family between 2 world wars. And then putting the thing together, and the plot and the story was heavily influenced by the fact that, you know, it is the Second World War, Birmingham is being bombed, and then I think the initial thing that I was thinking was I wanted Tommy Shelby to be in a different place from anywhere that we'd ever seen him, and withdrawn from the world. And the reason he's withdrawn is because he's done something that he can't forgive himself for. So that was sort of the starting idea.
You abandoned your kingdom, and you abandoned your son.
Cillian, what was it like to show Tommy? I mean, the first forward has traumatized the character very much. How does he do it, and how does he move forward to connect with his son?
Well, I think he's really not dealing with it when we meet him. He's not dealing with it very well. Like Steve said, he's isolated himself, and he's really struggling with all his... Because he stopped moving forward. He's just looking back for the first time, I think, really. And he's drinking and he's taking drugs. But he is trying to address it by writing a book, you know, by like putting his thoughts and recollections down on paper, which is kind of like a stream of consciousness, you know. But I think he's just in a sort of a loop, and it's basically like a ghost story, really, the first part of the film, and then this character, Rebecca Ferguson's character, draws him back into the world, and then it becomes a story about saving his country and trying to save his son.
Save his son from maybe from himself, because what can you tell us about this complex father-son relationship between Duke and Tommy? Because it's very complex, and I mean, at the end of season 6, Duke was supposed to be Tommy's eyes, and now he just makes the situation worse. And Tommy believed he gave him his kingdom, but I don't think he thinks the same. For him, for Duke, it's more complicated than this.
Yeah, I mean, for Duke, I mean, the backstory from the series is that he was living he was all right. He was living a decent life with his horses as a Romany gypsy. And then he's pulled back, and he's brought back by Tommy Shelby and becomes part of the family. And then between the end of the last season and the start of the movie, Tommy Shelby has again withdrawn himself. And so he's been abandoned again. His mother died, his father brought him back to this world and then abandoned him in that world. And I think what I wanted to do was that Duke had that thing that I think a son can have, where on the surface you dislike or hate your father, but you are driven to impress him. Mm-hmm. And to possibly outdo him, you know, he says a line, this is bigger than anything my dad ever did. But really he's trying to impress him, you know, and he wants him to notice that he's doing this thing. So he's like the old Tommy Shelby on steroids. He's going too far. And Tommy's writing a book full of advice to his kids saying, don't do this. And then he's offered the opportunity to go back and sort him out by beating him up in a pigsty.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes, and the end scene. That was
one of Cillian's favourite to make, I'm sure.
I need to know that you are willing to take part in an act of treason that will decide this war for Germany.
The world don't give a fuck about me. And I don't give a fuck about the world.
I thought you decided this wasn't your war. It is now.
We have returning characters, but we also have some new faces. We have Barry Keoghan, we've got Rebecca Ferguson and Tim Roth, and Stephen Graham is coming back. I heard a story that there was a text message to Barry on Father's Day. Can I ask about it?
Sure. I mean, he's told the story so many times, but he texted me on Father's Day. I didn't know it was Father's Day, but then I realized it was Father's Day. And then I texted him back. We've known each other for a long time because we did Dunkirk together. And then I texted him back and said, you know, we'd all agreed he was our first choice before this. Yeah. And then I texted him to say, you know, would you like to be in play my son in Peaky Blinders? And he said yes, straight away.
Of course, I mean, how could he know? And how is it with Rebecca? Because I believe she has mentioned in previous interviews that you have the same agent.
Yeah, yes, we do, and I've really admired her work for a long time. Again, all of us, these were all our first choices, you know, these people, and that's been consistently the pattern in Peaky. The people that we ask to be in the show always say yes, and we've been really lucky. So, you needed this otherworldly kind of quality because the character, we're not sure what plane she fully exists on, so. I contacted her through my agent and she said yes straight away. And then Tim Roth, I did a film with him beforehand years ago, so I texted him and he said yes. So we were just really lucky.
Cillian should be a casting agent as well as everything else.
I have to ask about the music in the show and in the film, because music is kind of like its own character. Considering you both love music, and considering Cillian, your program on BBC Radio 6, what makes Peaky Blinders soundtrack so special for you?
Oh, I mean, there's so much to say about it. But again, that's one of those things where from the beginning, all these artists wanted to give their music and wanted to write original music for it. And it's kind of staggering the people that we've had in the show, like PJ Harvey, Radiohead, Leonard Cohen, David Bowie, you know, the Fontaines DC, Laura Marling. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's kind of, I still have to pinch myself to think that these people, you know, not only have they watched the show, but they've actually contributed their music to it. And you're right, it's a part of the DNA of the show. And, you know, Steve writes the music into the show, and like that Red Right Hand piece comes right there, and then Nick Cave redid a version of it. So like it's kind of unique for the show, and it's something I'm really, really proud of.
I think as well, people possibly don't realise that a lot of the music in the movie was written for the film,
yeah,
and was written to picture. So we have some fantastic composers and lyricists watching the action and writing a song to match the action, which is, I can't think of any other example of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not even sure that anybody else has ever done that.
Yeah.
And it looks like, you know, it's a needle drop. It really isn't.
Yeah. These are original new songs, and Anthony Gain and Martin Slattery and Green Chatton and other Fontaines members, like writing these songs in the room to picture, like they're world-class songs, and I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to music.
I am.